Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, December 18th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, so a few more things here to update and we'll be good to go. One last thing. And it looks like we are good to go here. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in Premium. Sent out. All right, looks like we are good to go here. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking liquidity over here. Let's turn this off for now. So I'm just going to mark up the close levels of liquidity. Going down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. Back down to the 1-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, December 18th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about I've marked up liquidity on the chart. So the closest level of liquidity below is at 44,014. It's really close, so this might get hit pre-market. And the closest level above is at 44,158. You can see there's a lot of liquidity here kind of building up in this area. This is the liquidity target, so we'll just use the high lows as the liquidity targets, and then we'll just say, these are like liquidity in the middle that will push to that direction. So we got a lot of liquidity sitting above. Same thing, kind of similar to yesterday. We have liquidity sitting below too, though. So we have liquidity in both directions, as you guys can see right here. A ton right below here, and there's a ton above. So we got targets in both directions. This means price can really push in either way. So price can push down, hit these targets, knock out this liquidity over here, and get down to the next targets even further down here. There's a lot of targets in both directions. So I mean, it's going to be a bit of a toss-up today. As you guys know, the interest rates are being released today, so the Fed will be speaking, and ideally, it's supposed to be good for the market because it's showing that interest rates are supposed to drop 0.25%. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here. Sam's asking, Sean, are you looking for a buy after the small sell-off? Possibly. Possibly there's we'll see what direction the breakout happens in, because that's, for the most part, that's kind of where I'm looking for price to push. 100 points is up here, so I mean, possibly that might be the case if we get that direction for the breakout. I mean, otherwise, price can really go in either direction. As you can see over here, Sam, there's liquidity in both ways. So, I mean, either way, if price pushes up or down, there's 100 points in this direction too. So, yeah, ideally, I think price will be bullish though, like you said, because of, the interest rates, but it's going to be a little tricky because the interest rates don't come out till 11. So what might happen from now until 11 is price may just continue to drop lower, right? That's what happened last week or last month, actually. Price kept continue dropping for like maybe pretty much the entire session. Once 11 o'clock hit, then it started climbing. So we might not even get a bullish push until like later today. But I mean, who knows really, right? I mean, it's really hard to tell if that's really going to be the case here. So for the breakout today, guys, we'll take a look at the normal breakout, which is the momentum breakout. I'll also take a look at the breakout V2 and the breakout V3, because I did some testing yesterday, and the breakout V2 and breakout V3 actually worked very well in December. So the breakout V2 actually yielded some pretty good profits for December, and then same with the breakout V3. They're both positive in profit for those specific strategies. The momentum breakout is basically at break even for the month so far. So there's 3 different breakouts that we covered in the mentoring session last Monday, and they all work very well. It's just they come up at different times. So I'll try to take a look at those breakouts. And then for me personally, I'm probably gonna be looking for some scalps between like 640 and 7. I can't take any breakouts right now because we're still on the risk off plan. I'm just waiting for a win to come in and smooth markets before I start looking for any breakouts myself. So looking at this here right now, we have market opening up in about 2 minutes. Looks like the breakout for today may possibly be a sell for the momentum breakout. But then again, I'll keep looking for any possible breakout V2s and anything else of the sort. Yeah, so breakout for today is technically supposed to be a sell. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout for the day, the momentum breakout, it'll be a sell. So we'll be looking for that there. And then also be looking for some scalps a little later. Let me check the news real quick if there's any. There's news at 7:30. It's a gas stock change, happens every Wednesday. It's nothing like out of the ordinary. It's not supposed to push price too much, but we'll keep an eye out on that as well. So we got market opening up in about 10 seconds, guys. If this candle here is too big, then you're supposed to flip it the other way. So if it pushes more than 50 points, you're supposed to push it the other way. But right now it's supposed to be a sell. So market is now open. Candle was like okay size, so it wasn't needed to be flipped. The momentum breakout right here is a sell, guys. So if you're looking for that breakout this morning, the momentum breakout here is a sell. I will continue looking for a possible breakout V2. So if this candle closes red and the next candle closes red, then this is technically supposed to be a breakout V2 as well. So this is the momentum breakout currently running right now. There's liquidity sitting down here. So there's room for price to drop. But again, like we talked about over this week and last week, the market here isn't really moving very smoothly. So that's why I've been holding off on the breakouts for now. So I'm mainly looking for a scalp between 640 and 7 right here. I'm personally holding off on the breakouts at the moment for obvious reasons. You can see over here again, price still isn't moving directional. Let's go over here to the clean chart. So right here, it looks like we have a pending buy signal. If this buy signal closes, the breakout version 2 and breakout V3, they can be shifting the other way. Again, I'm not looking for any entries right now. Just following and waiting for some confirmation here. So let's mark up opening price, which is right here. Price can easily shift back in this direction. Again, guys, I'm not taking any breakouts right now. I'm just waiting for the market here to move stably. Once it moves stably, I'll start looking for some breakouts. But right now, seems like the momentum breakout doesn't work well during slow markets like December and in the summer. But what I've seen is that breakout V2s and breakout V3s still work in this type of market. I have the data, and I'll show you guys the data a little later. I only did the month of December, but I mean, the data is pretty good for the most part. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it it's definitely pretty good for the most part. All right, so we got price coming back down and around. If I see a breakout V3 or a breakout V2 here, I'll mark that up for you guys if you guys want to follow it. Otherwise, just keep waiting here. All right, so not much going on. You can see our price is going sideways. Price pushed up above the 44,050 mark, faked out, pulled back into the range. Same situation that's been happening pretty much all week. It stays down the middle right here near the opening price, and it just pushes up a little bit, comes back down, pushes down a little bit, comes back up. And again, we're back in a sideways market. So I'll be looking for possible scalps right here between 640 and 7. If we do get a breakout V2 or breakout V3, I will mark it up for you guys here to see. All right, if this candle here closes green, this is going to be a breakout V2. So again, if you guys didn't sit in on the mentoring session on Monday, we covered all the breakout entries. The reason why this would be a breakout V2 is we have a buy signal right here. If there's 2 following green candles, this would be a breakout V2. This actually looks like a good entry because we have all the liquidity sitting right here. So this would be a breakout V2 to the upside. And the thing is, it lines up with the targets here because we have all the liquidity hanging out right here. And then also we have the target right here, the liquidity target. So if this candle closes green, this is a breakout V2 if anybody wants to take it. I'm not going to take it. I'll just mark it up for you guys. Again, like I said, I'm holding off on breakouts for right now. Breakout V2 is actually on a win streak right now for this week. It won on Monday, it won on Tuesday, and if it wins today, it's going to be on a continued 3-win streak. So this candle looks like it's about to close green. This is going to be the breakout V2. It's an older strategy. We haven't applied it in a long time. And yeah, there goes a breakout V2. So this here will be the momentum breakout. I'll mark this up right here as a breakout V2. And if we get a breakout V3, I'll mark that up as well. So I'll leave this marked up on the breakout chart. I mean, you can see right here, it's got some pretty good range because it's got all the liquidity hanging out right here. And the target for liquidity is going to be up here anyways, the higher high. So we'll follow that. Not in that position, but marking it up for you guys to see. So ideally, I would like the breakout to play out because I'd rather have this trade win. So initially, the momentum breakout, I prefer to just lose, right? I don't want it to be the situation where it ends up losing in both directions, because when that becomes the case, it doesn't matter if you take a buy or a sell, it'll lose. For this here, I'd rather have this just lose for a sell so that we know that the market's actually moving in one direction. It's not going back and forth. And then from there, we can probably start identifying if the momentum breakout needs to be flipped or not. Because in a situation like that, if you have a one-sided entry, you can always flip it the other way. But if the trade is moving in both sides and it's ranging or whipsawing, in a situation like that, you can't really flip it because whether you take a buy or a sell, it'll still lose, right? So I'm really hoping this does push through, because if it does push through, then this is going to be a good sign for the breakout. It means that the market is starting to move in a direction. It's not going back and forth, but it's more so going one direction or the other, right? For a lot of these strategies that we take, we trade direction, we trade breakout. So for the most part, we need price to actually move in one direction or the other, whether it moves to the upside or whether it moves to the downside. It doesn't matter which direction, but we want it to move in a direction rather than sideways. So here's a clean chart. The next level is going to be up here. So this is going to be the next level of target for the levels chart, the clean chart. So our next area that we want price to touch is going to be up here, the 44,100 mark. You can see prices attempting to push up here to the to these levels of liquidity right here, trying to reach the target up there, right? So a couple of things I would be looking for here is I would look for price to climb up higher, maybe get a retracement, and then look for a possible entry to the upside. So my bias right now is ideally going to be a buy, because I do want this breakout to hit. And then on top of that, I want to look for a scalp in between. So the scalp's going to be between 640 and 7 right here. One stretch is a market flow V2. I'm probably not going to take the market flow V2, but that's going to be a stretch for me here, because the thing is the trend here hasn't really shifted yet. So market flow V2 is not really going to be in the books, at least not yet. What I'd like to see here is possibly a push to the upside, retracement with the sell signal, and then a buy signal for a breakout V3. If I get a breakout V3 right here, perfect, because it's going to line up with the second breakout, and then it'll also be a confluence for the third breakout. Or another thing that I would like to see is price push up, retrace, get a V1 variation off the level down here, and then push back up higher. Right. But again, it doesn't really matter. I mean, whichever direction price goes, I'll be looking for possible entry in that way. But of course, I want price to push in a direction. Right now, price is attempting to push back up. Again, we had that pending sell signal right here, so this might come up, but we still don't have it yet. This might be tricky, because if this happens right here and we get a sell signal, this could be a possible breakout V3 in the opposite direction. It's a little tricky here where it's currently at. Yeah, because we have I mean, price isn't going anywhere, so it's not really moving the way that we talked about, right? I was hoping price would just move direction, whether it be to the upside or whether it be to the downside. It's just not happening. Right here, you can see price is pretty much just going back and forth. Market opened right here down the middle, and it's doing just that. It's going right down the middle. This isn't the type of market you want to trade in, unless you're applying a sideways entry, of course. Okay, perfect. So we got the sell signal right here. As long as this candle does not close red, there's still hope for it to push to the upside. Otherwise, if this candle does close red, this is going to be a breakout V3 in the opposite direction. And you can see the choppiness here. Like, it really doesn't matter which direction you take. It's like, it's very, very tricky the direction that price goes. I'm not going to take this as a breakout V3 if it comes up. It looks like it's not really going to come up. It might push at the last second, but I'm not going to take that risk here. And it looks like it's not going to close. Okay, so there's no breakout V3 there. There's no breakout V3 because in order for it to be a breakout V3, we would need a sell signal and a red candle to follow it. Since we don't have that, there's no breakout V3 here. What I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for a breakout V3 for a buy. So now I'm looking for, now that we have the sell signal here, I'm looking for another buy signal to correct to the upside. So I'm looking for a buy signal to push up and then I'm looking for it to push up higher. So basically looking for a buy signal, looking for a green candle to follow it. Once we have those confirmations, then I'll be looking for price to climb up higher to where it needs to go, right? Because we're still in a bullish bias here for the most part, mainly because the breakout V2 is still running. So let's take a look at the other time frames here. The 4 hour here is kind of neutral. It's bearish, but it's bearish neutral. So it's trying to shift to the upside. The 1 hour over here was actually bullish. It still is bullish right now, unless this candle closes below. The 30-minute is neutral right now. It's right in between the pivots. It's bearish neutral like the 4 hour. The 10-minute is bearish right now. It's below the pivots. 5 minutes bearish, and the 1 minute is bearish. So we got bearish on the shorter time frames, 1, 5, and 10. We have bearish neutral for 30 and 4 hour, and then we have a bullish trend over here for the 1 hour. It's pretty mixed across the board, so price can really go in either direction. However, you know, the highest time frame over here, 4 hour, and the second to the highest are attempting to shift to the upside. I think later today, price will be bullish, of course. You know, we talked about this earlier. We have the interest rates that come out later today at 11 o'clock. So when the interest rates come out, it's forecasted to be a rate cut of 0.25%, which is going to be good for the market, right? So, you know, this is like what I talked about with Sam earlier. I think the market here may just go sideways, or it may drop for a little bit, but eventually later at 11, when the interest rate news comes out, it will likely push to the upside. We have interest rate news. So right here, it says interest rate. So economic projections at 11, and then the interest rate decision at 11 as well. It's going to drop from 4.75 to 4.50. So 0.25% drop. It was expected. You know, Powell already talked about this last month and the month before. They were expecting one more rate cut before the end of the year, which is, of course, going to be good for economy. Good for economy, bad for inflation. So it's a double-edged sword. See, Sam said he'll buy until 44,108. After that, God knows. Let's see. So he got in at 44,108. Or you're gonna get in at 44,108. That's a good area right there, Sam. I would get in around this area. So I'd actually get in a little lower. So I'd get in around like 44,105. But it's only a 3-point difference. It's because that's just the start of the zone right here, right? So 44,105 would be right here. And yeah, I would write it as the target right here, 50 points, basically. Man, the market's not doing anything. You can see over here, guys. So this is my window of trade between 640 and 7. There's nothing going on here. Price is literally going sideways. So if I don't see anything over here, of course, I'm not going to force any trades. Looks like price is having trouble really just getting around. Okay, so I forgot to have the sessions on, guys. Price actually is having trouble getting past the sessions right here. So see how price was going sideways right here? It was basically pushing between the sessions. So it had trouble getting below here. This is the Asia low. And then it had trouble getting past here, which is the Asia high. So currently right now, it's having trouble getting past these areas. It's really just ranging between the sessions at the moment. Okay, so now that I have the sessions marked up on the chart, this is actually a really bad area to be trading in. It's tough to trade within this area because you can see over here, this purple line, price is going to have trouble getting past it, whether it's to the bottom or whether it's to the top. It's going to have trouble getting past this area, have trouble getting past this area. And then even once price gets past this area, it's going to have the New York high right here. So there goes another issue. And then when price gets past here, it's going to have another issue, which is the London high. So this whole area here is going to be, it's like a session sandwich, right? It's going to have trouble getting past these areas. You know, this is the whole reason I created this indicator, was to avoid trades at the sessions. You can use the sessions as targets, and you can see they work perfect as targets. Like if you were taking a sell here, your target could have been the Asia low right here. And if you were taking a buy here, your target could have been the Asia high right here. The only thing is you don't want to trade anything that has to touch these points, because this is typically where price gets highly manipulated. Again, right here, price is going sideways. It's just going sideways between the sessions at this moment. Now that we see that the sessions are here, I don't know if there's going to be any entry for me to take here. Because the thing is, if I'm going for 30 points, so say, for example, we I'm looking for a market flow V2 right here. It's going to be a little tricky because of like where price is currently at. Looks like a market flow V2 already came up actually for a sell. So we had a sell signal right here. Price came down, came back up right here. The market flow V2 actually would have filled at the 40 mark. I mean, it's a really tight area right there for entry, but personally, I probably wouldn't have taken that one. So we do have a buy signal here that's currently pending. Ah, man, this December market's been a mess. It's been a mess. We've been still trying to look for entries here, but there's just no opportunities for entry. Let's see. Sam said, I think I'm not trading like you said. Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. It's not a good area to trade in. I mean, if you guys want to trade, feel free. I'll keep giving you guys my analysis, but I'm trying to warn you guys that this is not a good area to trade in. This whole area right here is not good. As you can see, price, it's trying to get past. So you can see price pushes down and then it pushes up. But you can see it never breaks out of this area. I mean, it tries to, but it fails. Like, for example, right here, price finally broke past the Asia high right here. And then it just faked out right back down below. So same thing could happen again right here. Price pushes up, possibly fake out again, and pull back below. Let's just turn off the liquidity right now. Here's the chart a little cleaner. You guys can see it a little better. Yeah, price has been between here since 6 o'clock, since pre-market. There's high impact news over here at 5:30, but it didn't really affect like market that much. It didn't really do anything. So we had news up here. The news at 5:30 was housing starts, housing sales. It was all negative news. Building permits was positive. So this was a high impact news this morning at 5:30. Building permits, it was positive, but you can see pricing even go up and stay down there. So what you would possibly see here is a possible correction to the upside. Because price needs to get back to this pink line right here to correct. News is positive, should have worked out that way. Again, right here, see how price got to this purple line, the Asia high? It's not able to break past it. So like I said earlier, guys, if you guys are looking for some buys here, be careful because there's going to be a lot of areas here that your buy would need to get through. It would need to get through this Asia high. We need to get through this New York high and this London high. There's all the highs here from yesterday, basically. So these are all the high price points from yesterday. This is Asia session high. This is New York from yesterday. And this is London high. See, whenever you guys have these sessions that are like pretty much bunched up in one area, this shows you that the market hasn't gone anywhere since yesterday. Because the highs shouldn't be next to each other, right? They should be away from each other because these are completely different sessions. Asia is like completely different from New York. New York's completely different from London. This just shows you that the market hasn't really gone anywhere in the past 24 hours. So my highs here, my high lows, basically the session high lows, they will update every day. So every 24 hours they'll update. If it shows that they're really close to each other, it shows you that nothing has happened since yesterday. I mean, price did move, but it's not enough because each session should move at least 100 points, right? And if you look over here, so let's go from the London high to the Asia high. It's only moved about 145 points. It looks like there's movement here, but if you look at the actual numbers, it's not very much. So the volatility was actually very low yesterday, like the whole day yesterday, not just like Asia session, but it was low pretty much all throughout the day. Because the numbers here aren't really reflecting very much volatility in the market. The ATR is actually pretty high right now. The ATR is currently at 29. So this shows you that there's volatility. Price is pushing. The only problem is that price is pushing back and forth. So it's volatile, but there's no direction. Again, right here, look how price is trying to get past the sessions right here. The Asia high. Let's see if price actually gets past it. Let's see. Glenn said, I think I won't be trading until New Year's due to low volatility. Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing. That's why for me, I'm being very like careful. I mean, I feel like this is the hardest part for a lot of traders. It's knowing when to trade and when not to trade, right? This is not a good time to trade. I know some of you guys want to just force entries and you just really want to get into an entry every day, but this is one of those days where it's like, hey, it's better to just sit back and wait because, one mistake could really hurt your account. Um, One mistake shouldn't blow your account, but I've seen people blow their accounts. Like I've seen someone who, and I'm not going to name anybody, but obviously like this has probably happened to you as well. Like you might have like a really good week where you're like doing very well, and then you go super heavy on one trade, or you don't set a stop loss, or you just don't want to close out of it, and then you end up blowing your account with one trade. That should never be the case, right? Whenever I enter a position myself, I always have a fixed TP stop loss. So as you guys can see, whenever I enter a trade, I have like a 30-30, right? So I already know what I'm going to lose and I know what I'm going to make whenever I lose a trade. And this is about like equivalent to like 1 to 5% of my account. So in order for me to blow my account, I have to have a lot of these losses, right? You should never have one loss where it pretty much just destroys your account. Because I've seen that happen with a lot of people, and that's really the problem with most traders. That's why most traders can't succeed because they don't understand the concept of risk management. Risk management isn't risk to reward. It's about conserving your capital when days like this happen, where there's like no entry for you to take, and it's better to sit out and get nothing than to risk your account and blow it all in one shot. Because that's you got to be really like what Falange said. Falange said got to be very intentional with the trailing stop that Apex has, different from FTO, but I respect it. Yeah. And that's why I use a trailing stop because like I'm intentional with all the trades I take. Like when I take a trade, people always talk about base hits, right? For me, so this is what I mean about base hits. This is my concept of base hits. Everybody has a different concept of base hits, but for me, whenever I enter a trade, I have my trailing stop that moves up to 10 points, right? So I consider this a base hit. This is like an easy play. So, what happens is I end up getting a couple base hits. Like say, for example, I have like say I have three of these, right? Three base hits with a high win rate strategy. So say, for example, I hit this once, I hit this once again and again. When you get three of those, it ends up being one full home run, right? Basically. I mean, four should be a home run, but for the most part, because I cut it into three pieces, it's basically a home run. Sometimes I'll get base hits and then sometimes I'll get the full move. Because sometimes what will happen is my stop loss will be moved up in profit, but when my stop loss gets moved in profit, it just shoots right through. So you got to understand the concept behind that too, guys, because I know a lot of people don't like trading or cutting their trades early, but sometimes in a market like this, it's better to cut your trade early because if you guys remember the trade from yesterday, so yesterday I took one trade. I took one V1 variation, and thank God I used it as a base hit, right? Because if I didn't take the base hit here, like if I didn't take that base hit, then I probably would have lost the trade. It got really close to TP, but my stop loss got moved in profit. It pulled me out at 10 points, and then price reversed on me because price is moving back and forth. And that's how I locked in these profits yesterday. This is all from my base hit. A full home run, I'd get like 1,500. So I got basically a quarter of that. And that's just how the market is, guys. Like right now, I think, during the winter months and the summer months, it's better to take these base hits than to take the full move because a lot of times it's not going to work out. Yeah, Jonathan said this month's market has helped me be more careful about my entries. Yeah, and that's a key thing. Again, that is risk management there. Risk management isn't your RR. It's not about doing a 1-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, whatever. Risk management is really understanding how to conserve your capital with making adjustments to your trades, whether you're taking a trade or not. Yeah, Frenchie said end of year is so lame. I agree 100%. I was hoping the market would be moving a little faster, but it's not. It's just doing what it typically does. It's actually slower than last year, I feel like. Last year there's more direction. Right now it's pretty much just going back and forth. So price got past the sessions right here, and look where it bounced off next. The green line, right, which is the New York high. So like I said earlier, it's going to be tough to take any buys here, guys, because there's a lot of areas here where price needs to get past. And you can see here it's faking out. pulling right back into the range. So like I said, guys, I'm not forcing any trades here. I'm just waiting. We're in my window right now, so we're between the 640 and 7. But like I said, I can't even take anything here if I wanted to. If I wanted to take a market flow V2, the market flow V2 would have happened right here at the 70 mark or the 60 mark. So market flow V2 would have happened right here. But I mean, of course, I wouldn't take it because look at where price is at. To get to my TP, I got to get past this area right here. Looks like the 10 points would have gotten hit already, though. So if you guys took this here for a market flow V2, this could have been a base hit like I just talked about, but I wouldn't risk it. And here we go. As price gets stuck right here down the middle again. So I'll just leave the liquidity off right now, or I'll leave it on, I guess. The liquidity is going to be useful to see price movement. So there's a possible, never mind, take that back. I was going to say a V1 variation, Sam, but there's a buy signal here already. So if we had a sell signal here, this could be a possible V1 variation. There we go. We might get it, actually. There's a pending sell signal right there on this current candle. Double body rejection. It's rejecting off the liquidity zone right here. Yeah, Sam said sweet V1, 645 eyeballing me. Which one did you look at over here? Oh, yeah, you're right. So there was one down there, actually. See, the thing with this is that I didn't see a structure. So, I mean, it would be a good entry, but I don't see any structure on that area. Let me go back to that candle real quick. Was there a structure there at that time? No, there wasn't. See, if I had this is what I would have done, Sam. If we had structure right here, like we had some sort of liquidity down at this point, and we got that V1 there, I would have taken it even though it was against the trend. Because all I needed was 10 points here. Or not even 10 points. I could have pushed for the whole move, actually. 30 points right there to get up to my TP, right? So this actually would have been an okay entry if I had some sort of structure here where price was bouncing off. I don't necessarily like to trade V1s against the trend. If we had a V1 in the opposite direction, then okay, great. But because this was against the trend, that's the reason why I personally wouldn't have taken it. But it's all good. I mean, it's all part of the analysis and all part of the game here. So we'll continue looking. So we did get the V1 pattern right here. It's not a V1 variation, but it's a V1 pattern. The reason why it's not a V1 variation is because we don't have a pending buy signal. The buy signal was already up right here. But this is basically what I would have looked for right here. Like if we had that right there, that would have been ideal and I would have taken it. But I'm not going to risk it because obvious reasons here. So we got price pushing up. Looks like I'm not going to have my entry between 640 and 7, guys. Unfortunately, it looks like the trend here did begin from below here, but then it started to climb up a little later. So yeah, Sam said, yeah, no structure. My bias was a buy. Perfect 80 points move like yesterday. Yeah, I agree too. So the breakout V2 is still running right now, guys. It's on its way to TP still. Pull back for some retracement, but then it's climbing all the way back up right now. So like I said, the breakout V2 and breakout V3, they've been hitting still, even in this type of market. Let's see, Talanji said, how do you feel about the 10-minute daily? Market has been trashed in summer, so maybe it's no longer relevant. I haven't really looked at it, but let's see. Go to the 10-minute. So the 10-minute daily would have came up right here. Looks like it's currently running on the current candle. Talanji. So I haven't really looked at the 10-minute daily, but let's go to yesterday's. Yeah, actually, I don't know how relevant it would be because the market volatility is too slow. Because I think the trade would just be running. So yesterday's when it played out. Let's go to the one before that. Monday. Yeah, I don't know if it would be relevant because you need volatility for that type of trade. Like, let's see Mondays. It doesn't really look. Because the thing is, when I created that 10-minute strategy, that was like during COVID when the volatility was like super, super high. See, the thing with with this strategy is that you have to, in some instances, you would have to hold it. So this one right here would have been good on Friday, but you would have to hold it from Friday up until Tuesday, basically. It'd be a 2-day hold because the volatility is so low. Um, but I mean, it still looks like it works, DeLonghi. So it looks like it works. It's the only problem here is that you can't use this with the futures broker because you can't hold it overnight. So, I mean, technically you could on a personal account, but on these prop firm accounts, they don't let you hold it until the next day. So it hits right there. I guess it is somewhat relevant. It just kind of depends on how you use it. Another one right here. Yeah, because for a lot of these, some of them they hold on till the next day. So this one over here would have ended like right when market closed. So last week it hit on Wednesday, it hit on Thursday, it hit on Friday. It's basically a 3-win streak. On Tuesday over here. So no, so I wouldn't say it's completely irrelevant because it like last week it looks like it hit almost every day. It's just you got to manage, you got to actively watch it because if you don't, then you know, you might blow your account if you don't close it by the end of the day. So yeah, it looks like it is relevant to longevity. I'm glad you mentioned this. So if you guys remember the 10-minute, it was basically just a 10-minute entry, 10-minute momentum. Basically, you look for the momentum signal in a 10-minute time frame, and then you hold it for 150 points. Last week, it hit every day of the week. So it hit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all wins, 5 back-to-back wins. Um, the only problem, again, like I said, is you're going to have to hold on to this position. Like this, it's actually hitting very, very well to Lanji. So it's on a 6-win streak right here. I mean, it's actually a really good strategy, Lanji. Now that we're looking at it, this is a 7-win streak right here. So you guys can see a lot of my old strategies, they work. You have to use them during like a market that like is actually moving though. 720, this one would have lost, of course. Okay, so that was a good run. So the last loss for this was on Wednesday, like 2 Wednesdays ago, December 4th. But other than that, it had 7-win streak. So loss right there, win, win. It's a bigger move. It's like one of those trades that you just set and forget. So Friday one, Monday one, uh, Tuesday one. Yeah, so if you guys ever want to go back and review this, this is one of the legacy strategies. So like we haven't I mean if you go back to my old strategies, this was like one of the main ones that we used to apply. So before the momentum breakout, this is the breakout we used to take. It was just a once a day strategy. The win rate's really high. It's just what would happen sometimes is when the market's slow, you'd have to hold on to it for a very, very long time. So you could probably do this with a personal account, or if you have like an unregulated broker, like a just a fun account that you like to use, you can trade on there too. Yeah. So it won pretty good right here. It's just so Friday is like the messy one because there was no movement here. So Friday basically ran up until Monday, and then it did hit eventually. So basically one, two, three, four, five, six, seven back-to-back wins for the 10-minute momentum. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to look back at it, go back to my old strategies. That was one of the strategies we applied during COVID. It's a good strategy. It's just sometimes it takes a while. You have to be on the chart until like it comes up, which I mean, I'm trying to do the opposite. So for me, I've kind of changed my style. I don't like to be on the charts as much. I like to just have my little window to take my one or two trades and then I'm done. So I look for momentum or I look for breakout and then I look for my trade between 6:40 and 7 o'clock. Yeah, as long as you say trend confluence only for now, trailing stop at 50 points maybe. Yeah, that could work. There's a lot of different ways to work it. I mean, if you want to just hold on to the position, I guess you would have to find a broker that would let you hold it past like overnight, basically. I know Apex doesn't let you hold overnight. They'll like automatically liquidate your position. Um, I don't know any brokers that actually let you do it. The reason why they do that is because the margin is like really, really expensive. Like if you want to hold YM and like say, for example, you had a personal account and you want to hold YM, here, I'll show you real quick. Um, Ninja Trader margin requirements. Um, where's the margin requirements? Oh, they make it so hard to find the margin requirements here. Margin of futures, there we go. And they make it so difficult to find the margin requirements. Here we go. Okay, so for trading YM, so this is the daily and this is the initial margin. So if you want to trade a personal account with um where is YM in here? Oh, there we go. So basically you need in order to open a trade, uh you need to have 11,440. That's the initial, and that's just for one contract. So if you're trading one contract, that's how much you would need. Imagine if you're trading like six contracts or 10 contracts, right? You need like over 100,000 to hold the position overnight. So this is why it's super expensive to trade this on a personal account because the margin requirement is so high. It's like super expensive for YM. If you want to trade the mini, like MYM, then it's probably gonna be a lot less. But if you want to trade actual YM, it's gonna cost a lot to hold a position overnight. So like if you wanted to trade MYM, the, I don't even have it on here. Oh, they have it right here. It's still a little much. So it's you just take 10,000 off it. So instead of having 11,000, you just need 1,100 for MYM. So yeah, if you wanted to open a personal account, hold a position overnight, you can do that, but you just need to make sure you're trading the proper asset or you have enough money in the account to hold you over. MYM and YM are the same thing. It's just one's micro, one's mini. Let's see, Barack said it will definitely have to hit now with its bullish momentum. Man, this thing is not retracing. Want to jump in after the breakout V2. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just going sideways right here, guys. If you guys are looking for any entries here, I mean, price finally got past these sessions right here. You can see it had trouble getting past it for a while, but it finally got past it and now it's retesting it and going sideways here. So there's still a target up here. The target's still going to be up here. So price still needs to push up higher and get to that target. Right now, we just don't have that volatility or movement. Yeah, the breakout V2 is still running right now. You can see still currently running at the moment. Not really too much going on. There's not really much going on. The breakout V2 is still running, guys. It's in profit, but you can see it's having trouble really getting to that full stride to the upside. I mean, it's probably going to hit eventually. It's going to take some time, but it's going to take a while. This is basically, this is what kind of differentiates like the breakout from a regular trade. At this point, it's now turning into a day trade because it's been running for about 40 minutes now. So 40 minutes since the entry time over here. It's not really a breakout anymore. And that's where it becomes risky when taking these types of trades because breakouts are, they're exactly what they're called. They're breakouts. They're supposed to break out in one direction. But because there's no direction, I mean, you can see over here, price is just kind of sitting around this area. So here's a clean chart. See how price gets around this area, then it just fakes out, pulls back in. This is what makes it hard to take these breakouts because I mean, unless you go for a smaller TP stop loss, which you always can. So don't get me wrong. If you guys want to like cut your TP stop loss into something smaller, you can do that. Like for example, if you wanted to cut it into like a 50-point TP would have gotten hit already. But at this point, I would still like to go for the full move. All right, so one thing that I would look for here is look for the break and well, this is a break and retest basically of the structure. I would have looked for a V1 variation. So if you had a double body rejection right here, that'd be perfect because then it would likely push up higher. The problem here again is that we're at the sessions. So see where price is currently stuck at? It's stuck at the New York high. It's that green line right there. So in order for me to look for a buy here, I would look for some sort of reversal pattern. I'd look for a V1 variation somewhere down here, or I'd look for a V1 variation somewhere down here. Right, anywhere around this area. Any type of reversal off this structure would be a good time to look for that reversal point. Because I mean, price might retrace down right here for a little bit, and then it might come back up. Like a head and shoulders pattern, right? So this is like a classic head and shoulders pattern right here. You got the shoulder, you got the head, you got the other shoulder, push to the upside. Or inverted head and shoulders. That's actually a really clean head and shoulders. If this actually plays through, this is a very clean head and shoulders to come out. Because it looks good so far. Shoulder. And then the reversal back to the upside. Talon said, I really hope market gets more volatile when Trump gets in office like it used to be. Yeah, I think it will be 100%. I think once Trump gets in office, the market will be very volatile compared to how it is now. I feel like the past couple of years when, Biden's been in house, it's just been a flat market. There hasn't been the market hasn't been shaken up like it was before with Trump. Because the thing with Trump is he does he's very erratic with the things that he does. So like he'll like fire people, he'll like start He'll start like trade wars with different countries. He'll like say crazy things and it'll just throw the market off, right? Because nobody knows what's going to happen next. I think the same thing is going to happen when he gets back in office. The thing is, he already has a taste of like what control he has and what power he has. He's going to take more advantage of it this time. So yeah, I think starting next month, I think one big thing is like when TikTok gets banned, right? Because they're going to ban TikTok first, I think January 16th. So once TikTok's banned, then it's going to fuel a war with China, a trade war. I mean, there's already a trade war. They're going to put more tariffs on them. And then with that said, it's just going to cause the market to kind of go all over the place. So we'll see. I mean, he has his immigration law that he's going to be enforcing too, so that's going to affect the market. The cost of things are going to go up. I think there's going to be no more interest rate cuts for a while. Inflation is going to go up for sure. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to affect the market. Not just one thing, but I think a lot of things in general. I mean, we might even go into a war, honestly. Like with Trump as president, we might even go into a new war. The thing is, we haven't been in a war in a while. So like, I don't know when's the last time. Here, I'll Google it real quick since we got some free time. Last US war. Yeah, so like we really haven't gone into a war since like I guess the war in Afghanistan. So we might not go into like a real war. We might go into like a Cold War. We'll basically be backing like a certain country. So we probably won't be like sending troops over, but it's going to be like for sure we're going to go into a trade war. I know that's going to happen. Trade war is going to happen. I mean, Trump's got 4 years to like shake things up, so we'll see. But yeah, I do think the market will be a lot more volatile when time comes. Anyways, there's nothing going on right here. You can see prices trying to push from the structure, but it's not really having that push behind it. What I would look for here is I'd look for a breakout V3. So now that I'm looking at the market, the breakout V3 actually hasn't came up yet. So market open right here at 6:30. We had a buy signal, no green candle. We had a red signal, no red candle. We had a buy signal, no green candle. Sell signal, no red candle. We have a pending buy signal right here. So if this buy signal closes, this would be a setup for a breakout V3. We still haven't had it come up yet. So, I mean, this might be the case. The thing is, ideally, I would like a breakout V3 in that direction because it's going to go with the breakout V2. So we got the breakout V2 currently running right here. If you have a breakout V3 come up, that's going to be an additional confluence for it to push up higher and hit the TP here. So if a breakout V3 comes up here, I think I would be okay with taking maybe even a smaller move here on like maybe one or two of my accounts just to like feel it through. Maybe not the full 30, but because I do think it'll push up and probably hit TP at that point. All right, so we did get the buy signal there. If this candle closes green, I will probably take this for a scalp. I know it's outside my trading window, but I will take this for a scalp because this here will line up with my analysis for the breakout V2. So the breakout V2 will probably push up to the TP. The breakout V3 will push in that direction. It's going to be the confluence that we need. The only problem here is there's going to be a London high up there, guys. So just a reminder, there will be a London high up there. So I'll let my trailing stop do its job. So let's see if this candle closes green. This is going to be a breakout V3 continuation or a breakout V3 in general. See if it holds. It might not hold. It looks like it's not going to hold here. Nope. So no breakout V3 there, guys, unfortunately. I was excited. I was ready to take the trade there and then take it up for like for the rest of the move, at least maybe to my 10 points, but because 10 points is right there, it would have been super tight. And I could have maybe gone for the full move, but it's all good. So no entry there. Unfortunately, this is a V1 variation actually, so I'd be careful taking any buys at this point. There's a V1 variation double body rejection off the structure. Yeah, what a bummer. That would have been good. It would have been a good entry because everything here would have lined up. So we would have had the breakout V3 continuation. It would have lined up. It would have pushed through for the breakout V2. And yeah, it would have been a nice entry. It's all good though. I'm not going to force any trades here, like I said. I mean, this is outside my trading window anyway, so I shouldn't be taking anything here. Gotta stick to the game plan. Although it would have been a nice confluence. So breakout V2 would have hit TP, breakout V3 would have pushed through, maybe even hit another TP. And it would have reached a target here. There's just so many confluences for a buy here. Um, so that breakout V3 would have been the ultimate confluence because we'd have a breakout entry running, we'd have a second breakout entry following it, then we'd have a scalp running through it, and then we'd have price pushing to the target, which was up here. So the target that we're aiming for is the higher highs up here. These are the higher time frame higher highs. I think this is a 4-hour higher high, and the I'll just look real quick. Let's go on the 4-hour real quick. Yeah, so this is the 4-hour higher high. Or actually, no, I take that back. The 4-hour higher high is actually higher. It's way up here. I think this might be the 1 hour. Yeah. So this is the 1-hour higher high. Yeah, see, that would have been a good entry. Because there's a lot of confluences here. We have the breakout V2 running. Here, I'll just set an alert right here. Oops. I'll set an alert right here to notify when it hits. Oh, so it puts a line right there. So looking at this right here, there's a lot of different. So here's one target. One target is the breakout V2 full TP right there. And then we have the 1 hour higher high. And then we have the higher time frames up here. But it looks like price here is still having trouble getting past this area. So here's a good thing. We have price rejecting off the structure right there. It's a break and retest off the structure. If you get a V1 variation here, that'd be perfect, but I don't think we're going to get it right there at that point. Yeah, Ross said one thing with Trump is he will lower energy costs and inflation will moderate based on less energy costs and less regulation. Don't bet on a new Trump. He will be similar to last time. And he got us out of every war and conflict and fixed all regulation problems with businesses. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, Ross. You know, you might not like Trump as like a person, but Trump as a businessman, like it's undeniable. Like he's doing well for the economy, he's doing well for the country. You know, he came up with the like Ross, the Section 179 tax, right? That's how I got all of my cars for the past for the past 4 to 8 years, right? So like initially when Trump first became president, he implemented Section 179. It's a business write-off where you can write off like business vehicles fully in the first year. So when Trump first became president, that's when I bought like my Tesla Model X and I wrote off the whole car for a business. And then again, like couple years ago, I bought my Porsche, my Taycan Turbo, and that fit the criteria too. So I ended up writing the whole car off in the first year. So, you know, if you understand if you understand like what Trump's doing and you understand the business aspect of things, you can take advantage of it, whether you're a regular person or a lot of people like to complain and say that only rich people can take advantage of his tax write-offs. But he has a lot of deductions that are in place for anyone to take control of. Just like with Ross said, you know, he fixed all the regulation problems with businesses. And if you dig hard enough and you look for and you research and you do your own work, you'll find benefits for the average person there too. Same with like businesses, like you know how your tax, like basically your tax liability from your business could like flow into your W-2. If you're working a regular job and then you have a trading business on the side, like I'll be teaching you guys next week, you guys can write off your losses into your personal. Like there's a lot of different loopholes that you guys can follow. Not just with Trump, but just in general. But Trump does amplify things. because he's very business minded. Let's see. Sam said, I think target is liquidity above if it breaks the recent higher high and test it. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Sam. I think anything up here would be like key, right? Because like if price breaks past this higher this London high, then the target for me is going to be up here, right? It's going to be the 1 hour higher high right here and the 4 hour. Price is trading in the proper direction. It's having trouble getting past it. So the breakout V2 is still currently running right now. I mean, this thing would have driven me nuts. Like, I think I would have pulled out of this position already by now. Because the thing is, it's been running for almost an hour now. So imagine that breakout entry running for over an hour now. That's a long time to be holding on to a breakout entry. But the targets are still there. So the black line is going to be the target for the breakout V2. The blue line right here is the 1 hour higher high, and then this is going to be the 4 hour. And then we have liquidity sitting in between here. The only thing that's really standing in its way is going to be this London high right here. I think this is where price is going to have trouble getting past. It's probably going to come up, bounce off it, come up, bounce off it, and then finally break through it. Yeah, Ross said the working stiffs like us voted him in. Yeah, I know. If you guys looked at the elections from this past election season, I mean, if you guys look at the numbers, like Trump won the electoral and he won the popular vote. So although people will fake hate Trump, they'll still vote for him. Yeah, I mean, he won the popular vote. Like, there's no denying it that people want change. Well, we'll see. I'm excited for next year. I think we've all kind of been waiting for this for the past couple of years, ever since Biden became president. We were hoping for someone new to come and shake things up. We knew it wasn't going to be Biden. Like, I think everybody knew that for a fact. People just didn't want Trump president, and they thought Biden would make a change, and he made absolutely no change, really. He actually was bad for the market. So we got another month left. So we got another month left of slow markets, and I think the market will pick up in January. And this isn't being political at all. This is just to help us trading. Like, I don't care who's the president. I just want them to move the market. So if you measure right here, so let's measure from opening price up until now. Price has moved up a little bit. It's moved up about 130 points. So it's moved up decently, but not really that much. We do have a bullish direction though. So you can see over here, price has been climbing. It's just having trouble really holding that climb. Solange said, yeah, I'm not even from the US, but I know only Trump made sense. Yeah, Solange's over there in the UK, so it's crazy. There's people who are like from other countries and they support him as well, even though they're not from here. Yeah, and Ross said you really do care so you can buy some more cars. Yeah, no, definitely, Ross. The thing is that whole tax write-off was supposed to get taken down last year because it was expiring, but now it's being renewed because Trump's back in office. I mean, it's a good tax write-off. I mean, like if you have the money to afford it and you need to get like a big tax write-off at the end of the year, it's a really good tax write-off. So like that's something for you guys to look at in the future, maybe, if you have a really good trading year and then say you owe like 6 figures in taxes at the end of the year, you can just kind of blow it on the car. You're not supposed to do that. So like, I'm not giving you tax advice here. You're not supposed to just blow it on the car. It's supposed to be a business use. So it's got to be a business vehicle, technically. But that's why you see a lot of people driving like nice like SUVs, right? Like you see a lot of G-Wagons on the street. You see a lot of like Urises. You see like a lot of Tesla Model X's if you're on the lower end. A lot of those cars fall under the tax write-off. Like if you saw during COVID, like that's probably the first. I think COVID was when I started to see like a lot of Tesla Model X's, and I was like wondering why does everybody have a Tesla Model X, or why does everybody have a G-Wagon, right? It's for the tax write-off. It's like all the business people, they were like, oh, I need to like pay this much in taxes, might as well get a nice car out of it. And then they just sell the car for profit later. They basically double dip into it. And again, you're not supposed to do that. So you're not hearing this as tax advice from me, but basically that's what people do. They'll buy the car, after 2 years, they'll sell it for profit. So they get the write-off plus they get profit on top of it. It's crazy. It's a crazy loophole. Solange said Trump is about to endorse my McLaren. Yeah, mine too. When it gets to that point, right? So, all right, guys, we're getting close to the TP right here for the breakout V2. It's almost there. It's like there. It's about to hit right now. It's a few points away. Let's get that little push, and there we go. Full TP for the breakout V2, guys. Right there, alerts on. So if you guys took it, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. Like I said, this strategy works really well during this type of market. The breakout V2 is actually on a pretty nice win streak for 100 points. It's like at 1 to 2. Okay, so this is what I was going to show you. I have the data right here. So, breakout V2. So the breakout V2 right here, as you guys can see, it's on a 3-win streak at the moment. It's a good strategy. I might even implement it because this is like the one that's mainly working right now during December. I've only done December. I have to do more months to see how it works, but you can see over here from basically this whole week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the breakout V2 has been hitting. Breakout V3 hasn't came up yet, so I don't have a breakout V3 to mark up for today. But yeah, the breakout V2 here has played. So we might, I might even swap this out. So instead of using the regular momentum breakout, I might just swap out to the breakout V2 because it's working right now. So basically, if every trade was taken for this month, it'd be up 550 points. That's a lot of points. You think about it, because so I'm gonna do the math right here. I'm doing 6 contracts, 6 times 5 times 550. That's 16,500 for the month of December right now. It's a pretty decent amount for a small account. It's only been a couple losses here. So yeah, I'll keep testing it. I'll see, if the numbers are good. We have a couple of days left in. See, the thing with this here is I'm trying to look at the data as well. So I was kind of tempted to take the breakout V2 today, but the problem with this at the moment is that I can see whenever there's 2 wins, it typically loses. See, like 2 wins right here, it loses. So that's why today I was like kind of expecting today to lose because we had 2 wins right here, and then I was expecting a loss, but the loss actually didn't play out. It actually didn't work. So, I'm always looking at the numbers and I'm looking at the stats here. Looking at the breakout V3 for December, here are the stats. They're not as great, but they're still pretty decent. They're up like 300 points. So the breakout V3 hasn't came up yet. When it does come up, I'll mark up the data here, but again, it hasn't came up. So I'll be looking at this and we'll see where it ends up going. Yeah, no, definitely. Brock said, congratulations, guys. It was a long, fruitful wait. Yeah, if you guys took it, great work. You hit all the targets too. So if you guys remember earlier, I said we had about 3 targets up here. We had the breakout V2 target. We had the 1 hour higher high, and we had the 4 hour higher high right here. So like I said before, guys, let me just go replay over here real quick. You guys see how I had all the liquidity marked up right here? This is why I created this indicator, because I showed you that there is going to be liquidity sitting here. And if price pushes past here, it's probably going to push up and hit the target, which is going to be the liquidity target up here, right? And that's literally what happens. So if you look over here, see how price pushed up? It starts to knock out liquidity, goes up higher, knocks out liquidity even more, and then it hits the target that I was just talking about. It took a while to hit, but it did hit eventually. Would have been a nice entry, but like I said, it just didn't meet my criteria. Right here, I wish this would have been a breakout V3. If this would have been a green candle, then okay, perfect. I would have got into that position and I would have rolled this thing up. But because it didn't close, I didn't have that opportunity. Looks like Sam over here. So Sam said, LOL, he FOMO'd and bought the retest to liquidity. I would have done the same thing, Sam. If there was a V1 variation here, there's a V1 pattern. Is that where you got it from? So like I said, there's a V1 pattern. It's not a V1 variation, but it's a V1 pattern. Double body rejection off the structure. American retest of this. Like it works. Like this type of setup works really well. Again, this is the reason why I created this indicator, because you can see the setups, right? It's perfect. Price comes up, retest, comes up, retest, V1 pattern right there. If this was a V1 variation, like an actual V1 variation, I would have taken this here and I would have rolled this up. The only problem with this here that I would have been careful or scared of is the fact that we had the sessions right there, right? So I think my base hit would have hit for 10 points, but it would have been kind of tricky because it would have had to go and test the sessions right there. But yeah, it works out perfect right there. Glenn said breakouts recently doesn't really fit my trading style. It takes too long to hit TP. Yeah, because the market's slow, Glenn. That's why, like for me too, I just don't take them because the volatility is too low. It isn't. So if you hold on to a breakout for like more than 5 or 10 minutes, it's no longer a breakout at that point. It turns into more of a day trade. So yeah, that's like something to keep in mind. So the good thing here, so now looking at the breakout, guys, there's a lot of good things that happened today. For the breakout here, the momentum breakout. So I'll do this first. This is one of the good things that happened today. I'm glad that the breakout lost today. Like I wanted it to lose today, because what's been happening lately for the breakout is that we end up having price whipsaw, right? So when it whipsaws, it loses in both directions. It doesn't matter if you take a buy or a sell, it'll lose in both directions. I'm glad that it lost this way because it actually moved in a direction, right? So we can count this as an actual loss now for the momentum breakout. For the past couple, like basically 2 weeks, past 2 weeks, 14 days, we haven't been able to count this as a trade because you can see over here that it loses in both directions. But now that we have in one direction, that's like, okay, I'll say breakout finally move in a direction today. And I'll call it the momentum breakout, of course, so you know which one I'm talking about. I'll just put the notes right here just in case. I mean, I didn't take the trade, of course, but I'll put the notes right there. I'll also include the breakout V2. So if you guys want to look for that trade. So we got that there. And then the breakout V2 happened like right here. I didn't take any scalps today, so I don't have any scalps to cover. Covered are older. I'll just put just covered breakout. V2 strategy. Okay. Live session. TP or plus 100 points. May swap. Breakout entry. So I'm just putting notes here. If you guys want to follow the notes, I put all the notes here so that I know what to follow and I know what changes need to be made. So the momentum breakout moved in a direction today, it lost, which is perfectly fine. I'm glad that it moved in a direction, but then the breakout V2 over here hit TP. It's been on a pretty nice win streak. So I will maybe, you know what I'll do is, let's see, today's the 18th, 19th. We have 2 more days. I'll see how the breakout V2 runs tomorrow. The thing is, it's been running right now for a while. It's currently on a win streak. So I don't want to butt into it while it's in a win streak. It's kind of like gambling, right? If you guys ever gamble at a casino, you don't want to be that person to hop in when someone's on a hot streak. Like right now, the breakout V2 is in a hot streak. And of course, it's just superstitious. But I don't want to hop in, and then as soon as I hop in, the trade doesn't work, right? I want to wait for it to kind of reset, and then once it resets, I'll take the next trade. So yeah, I mean the breakout V2 looks good, and the other entries here are still currently running, Actually, no, they're actually all done right now. Let me go back over here real quick and see if there was a new zone that came up. Gotcha. Okay, so this is where Sam actually got in. He got in at the higher high. So basically right here at the liquidity, the retest of liquidity to the upside. This is actually another good setup right here. So I would have, if I didn't get the bounce right here, I would have gotten right here because I think this would be a safer bet, right? Price pushed up, and at that point, retrace a little bit, but then it blasts right through. So nice work, Sam. Again, hopefully this tool is being useful to you guys. If you guys like the tool, let me know so I can keep using it. If you guys don't like the tool, I'll just take it off and I'll stop using it. But I think it does help a lot because, with Sam, he used this as his confluence to get back in. He got in at the higher high, but the higher high was lined up with the retest of liquidity. So worked out for the most part. Nice. Talanji said he caught the V2 and everything inside it. Done for the day unless something comes up. Wacky ass Wednesdays. Yeah, definitely Talanji. All right, guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. We're already past our target, so I think the move here is already pretty much done. I mean, obviously the move is done. You can see over here, not really much else here to take since the targets already got hit. So the move to the upside did work out here. As you can see, between 640 and 7, I stuck to my game plan, guys. I didn't take anything outside of it, which I'm glad I did. Even though the trades would have hit. So there was other trades that I could have taken up here, but I stuck to my game plan. There's no entries between 640 and 7. So I'm glad that, I count this as a win for me. For me personally, because I didn't go off track. My game plan was, okay, look for an entry between 640 and 7. This is my trade window. Usually after 7, market goes sideways. There was no entry here. Momentum breakout for the day didn't play out. So of course I didn't take the trade. But the breakout V2 here did work out. And that's something that we might implement moving forward. So, you guys can see all these tabs down here. I have so many different models for the breakout. So what I'm doing every day is I'm taking data and I'm looking for what's hitting right now. Like, for example, the regular momentum is not working, Chris, right? We're in a crazy, crazy losing streak right now. Not really a losing streak, but it's a whipsaw streak. So you can see over here, a lot of the trades, it didn't matter which direction price went, it still would have lost. So I'm taking data on this to see what's working well during this time. This isn't working well. This isn't working well. The 50-20, so I know some of you guys were trying to use the 50-20 strategy. I don't think it's a good strategy. The TP stop loss for 50-20 is not good because it would have been at break even right now. You still wouldn't be in profit for the month of December. I tried the opposite, still same thing. It's not good. This is the breakout V2 that I mentioned. This is actually working pretty decent. I tried the momentum direction for 100 points. It'd be negative 200 right now. So I'm running stats all day, every day. If you're doing a 50-50, it'd still be at break even. So for the momentum breakout, it wouldn't really matter because even if you were to shift your TP stop loss to 50-50 or 100-100 or 25-50, your profitability would still be around break even. And the reason for that is because of the choppiness of the market. So yeah, we might give the breakout V2 a shot, and then we'll see where this ends up going. But all right, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, 7:45 right now, it's about 15 minutes till 8. You can see here price is starting to consolidate sideways, and there's not much else to happen here. It's probably just going to keep going sideways until it ends up moving later when the news comes out at 11 o'clock. So just a reminder, today at 11 o'clock, the Fed interest rate is coming out. It's likely to be dropped 0.25%. So it's going to go from 4.75 to 4.50. We'll have the Fed speaking after that as well. I think Powell will probably be chiming in, giving a breakdown of what's going to be changing and stuff like that with regard to FOMC economic projections. And you can see that over here on the calendar. So we got FOMC economic projections at 11. And then at that same time, we have interest rate projections and the Fed interest rate decision, where it's going to be dropping 0.25%. So looking at this here, it looks like, first year. So by the end of next year, when Trump, so these are the projections for the next 3 years when Trump comes into play. Right now, the interest rate projection is 4.4. It's going to drop to 3.4 next year, 2.9, and it's going to stay at 2.9. So we'll see. But yeah, you're probably gonna get a flat market from now until 11 o'clock. So if you guys don't need to trade, I would just wrap it up, guys. There's no need to force anything here. We got a whole 2 more days of trading ahead of us. Today's Wednesday, so we got Thursday, Friday ahead, and then we got Christmas next week. So that's gonna be kind of tricky, but we'll try to lock in some more trades as we continue on with this trading week. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up for the day. ATR is currently at 16, shows that volatility is pretty flat. So I just wrap it up, guys, call it a day.